Hello everyone, welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we'll be talking about the connection between Dragon and the son of God Nika. If you want to see more about One Piece on our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to our pirate crew. But pirates, before we continue with the video, I ask you to subscribe to our channel so you can join our pirate crew and earn a devil fruit or master your favorite haki. It would also help our crew a lot if you leave your thumbs up on today's video so we can become Yonkos together. Now let's continue with today's video. Monkey D. Dragon is undoubtedly a very mysterious character. Someone who has a clear goal from the beginning, but who we don't necessarily know enough about to understand his priorities and goals. In this regard, now that we are approaching the end of the One Piece manga and entering the final saga, we can be sure that Dragon will appear as a recurring character in the new story arcs. Could it be that now that people are learning about the return of Joy Boy, who is consequently Nika, there will be a great rebellion of the world against the world government? Could it be that Dragon, who we don't know much about his goals yet, will join Luffy because they both seek freedom from the hands of the world government? Or would he turn against his son if he learned such information? Could it be that the revolutionaries' mission was inspired not only by what they went through in their personal lives, but also by Nika's actions and her supposed return? Did Dragon know about the legends surrounding Joy Boy and was he familiar with them? Was that one of the reasons he traveled and sought more people to fight alongside him? In today's video, we'll try to understand all of this and figure out how it could be possible that Dragon actually knew about Joy Boy, supported his return, and then fought alongside Monkey D. Luffy in the next Great War. Monkey D. Dragon, better known as the world's worst criminal, is the infamous supreme commander of the Revolutionary Army who has been trying to overthrow the world government for many years. As the driving force of the largest anti-government organization, he has finally become a special target for the world government. For even as someone who avoids drawing unnecessary attention to himself as other pirates usually do, Dragon still makes himself especially dangerous, perhaps even far more dangerous than those who draw attention to themselves. We can see this from the fact that Luffy became a target of justice simply by being Dragon's son. That is, his very existence was a reason to be hunted, just like Ace. From Emporio Ivankov's words, Dragon is one of the most powerful characters in One Piece because he feared what the clash between the world government, Dragon, and Whitebeard would be. This means that Dragon can be considered as someone with considerable power, almost equal to that of a Yonkou. But even if you only consider the commanders who are as powerful as their boss, such as Ivankov, Bartholomew Kuma, and Inajima, the group is scary enough on its own. As someone who has lived with both father and son, Ivankov said Dragon and Luffy are very similar in terms of determination and danger awareness. Although they differ in personality, their ideologies and deeds for freedom are admirable to say the least. If we compare, Dragon is a very serious man, a born strategist who always prefers discretion in his actions, while his son Luffy always prefers a more direct, flashy approach that is often absurd when compared to that of his father. However, even though they are different in this regard, we will probably see them team up against the world government in the near future. Should the two truly team up in a single battle against the Five Elders, it's undoubtedly possible that they'll end up debating strategies, as they often did with Luffy and Law. Of course, we can't say for sure, because it's hard to decipher what Dragon's personal goals are when he attacks the world government for anything other than freedom and his hatred for those who are the pure embodiment of evil. In fact, we don't know why Dragon didn't decide to attack the Tenryubites directly or start a big war, but we can assume that precisely because he prefers another way to approach freedom, and perhaps because of possible planning and hidden information that hasn't been revealed to us yet. It's possible that the character in the manga will start acting very soon. After all, two Yonkos fell at once. In the end, all we can say is that Dragon and his army will continue to fight against those who exploit the freedom of others for fun, continuing to free slaves and act in secret. In truth, most of the Revolutionary Army's efforts are focused on liberating individual islands from local governments that are under the control of the world government. These small revolutions become easier when the world government is thrown into chaos, because then the revolutionaries can liberate several islands at once, as happened after the fall of the Shishibukai Donquixote Doflamingo. We can even assume that something similar will happen after the fall of Kaido, and also, perhaps still in Wano, the fall of Big Mom. For sure, this situation will trigger a huge uproar worldwide, which could be extremely dangerous and may allow us to have a drastic change in the world government's view not only on the Straw Hats in general, but also on the insurgent pirates. Undoubtedly, this could be the trigger for a major catastrophe. Be that as it may, onto the revolutionaries. Since they are an independent militia, another goal is to stockpile weapons to increase their military strength. Thus, they have been following Doflamingo's activities in the underworld to get the weapons he trafficked, and when Doflamingo was arrested, they took all the weapons left in Dressrosa. Also, revolutionaries always build their forces by training young children to adulthood, as we have seen several times in the work. Anyone who becomes a revolutionary is declared a notorious threat not only to the world government but also to high-ranking members, because since the world is stabilized by the three major powers, revolutionaries are a threat to that balance. But what about Nika? Could it be that the creation, deeds and ideologies of revolutionaries are actually inspired by the exploits and legends beyond time about the slave liberator? First of all, let's talk a little about what we know about this great warrior. Nika was a mythical man who was worshipped as a sun god by the slaves in ancient times. His first mention was by Who's Who learned of his legend from a guard while he was being held captive by the world government. Nika possessed a mythical Zoan Akuma no Mi called Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, which it later turned out was actually called Gomu Gomu no Mi, a name used to disguise her identity. The fruit gave the consumer a rubber body that allowed her to fight in any way she could imagine, resulting in various fighting styles. Completely free, so to speak. A wide variety of fighting styles were introduced since the beginning of One Piece by Luffy, who always used his creativity to face strong opponents, bypassing the powers of others as much as possible. He awoke as Nika. Luffy reached a kind of peak of power. He could laugh in battle while turning others and even the ground into rubber, playing with Kaido's attacks and having fun in battle. According to the five elders, there is no more ridiculous power than this. Nika was worshipped since ancient times by slaves who believed that he would come to free them from their suffering. As we saw in the anime, Who's Who, a former CP9 member imprisoned for a failed mission, heard the legend of Nika from a guard with the intention of relieving his own suffering. However, he noticed that the same guard eventually disappeared, leading him to suspect that he had indeed talked beyond what was allowed by the world government, and that they had kidnapped him and done something to him. Who's Who eventually decided to break out of prison to avoid possible punishment for hearing more than he should have. Later, he asked Jinbe if he knew anything about the legend of Nika, since he associated the race of fish people with slavery. Jinbe did not answer the question, but was visibly irritated by the connection the man had made. Anyway, apparently the government had managed to acquire the fruit about 12 years before One Piece's presence, but it was stolen by the Redhead pirates. Ironically, the person responsible for protecting the fruit was Who's Who, and his failure led to him being arrested and learning about Nika. Later, the Akuma no Mi was eaten by Monkey D. Luffy, whether intentionally or not, who found it with Shanks and thought it was a dessert. While the red-haired pirates were horrified to discover that Luffy had eaten the fruit, it was not yet clear if they were aware of its true nature. However, from a scene we saw recently in One Piece, it appears that Shanks must have known about it and even gave the world government the finger, leading to the scene we last saw in the manga where they were once again ordered to hunt down Monkey D. Luffy at all costs. What can we conclude from this? Probably, and if there is indeed a strong ideological connection between the Revolutionary Army and Nika, it will not only affect all the members, but also Dragon himself, who has everything under control. Maybe he will finally recognize his son, and that will lead to them fighting side by side against the world government. Maybe they will even form an alliance. And then, when the new Great War is coming, which could be the penultimate or even final story arc of One Piece, we will have the union of these two parties fighting side by side. Of course, we will also have the addition of other characters who haven't appeared for a long time, who may also know something about Nika or Joy Boy without necessarily knowing that both are one and the same person, but who will fight for freedom alongside Luffy. Dragon's reaction to the discovery of the truth may be a great surprise or a rather ungracious reaction. However, everything will depend on whether Joy Boy and the revolutionaries' goals, but especially Dragon, are actually connected. Either way, from this point on, my friends, it's going to be epic. But what about you guys? Think Luffy and Dragon can unite? Do you think there's a connection between Nika and the revolutionaries? Do you think the revolutionaries can support Joy Boy in this new era of pirates? Will we see more big reveals regarding Nika and Luffy in this new series of plot twists in One Piece? How will Dragon react when he finds out this information? Comment your theories below. That's it, my Straw Hat Pirate. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for a video, don't forget to comment below because I'll read them all like I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any content from your pirate crew.